Students, the dancers are almost ready. We're going to have a dance presentation. This is the Medicine Eagle dance troupe from around the area. You're really going to enjoy them. They're dressed to the max. And then following the dance presentation, Chuji Kingfisher will be our storyteller. And I think you're in for an exciting cultural presentation here. So we really appreciate them coming out and doing this. You know, we had to reschedule and everything like that. So thank you for being here. I know it's a little warm in here. We finally got the boiler fixed. It'll be nice if we had anything next week when it's going to be really cold. But just relax, enjoy, and I'm going to see if our dancers are ready.
Want to welcome each and every one of you here this afternoon or this mid morning. And my name is Chuji Kingfisher, kind of doing about 20 or 30 different things up here as we're trying to get ready. But we want to welcome each and every one of you here. I know we're looking at many of you on live stream, and again, we thank you for being here with us today. I know that things have changed the way that we do things, and we're just thankful to a school system like prior school systems for being able to oblige us with getting out to all the students and all the teachers and staff. We are the Medicine Eagle Dance Troupe. We are from the surrounding areas, from Tulsa to Chelsea to Tahlequah, even good old Pegs, America. And but we're glad to be here with each and every one of you today. We brought with us a few of our dancers. Now, our dance troupe is normally much larger than this, but again, due to COVID and due to the restrictions, several of our dancers aren't able to be here today. So we're kind of at a condensed version of our program today. So we'll not have all of the categories that you'll normally see at a powwow. Now, just to explain just a little bit, a powwow is much different than maybe some of the other dances that are done around here, like our Southeastern style dances, which are stomp dances. Those are ceremonial dances that many of the Creeks, Cherokees, Seminole, Choctaw, and Chickasaws do. And those grounds can still be found in the wooded areas of our rural communities. What you're seeing today has been displayed around this area for years and years. Most recently, the one there in Shodo that they have every year, but also they used to have one at Mid-America. They used to have one downtown at the Methodist Church, and so powwows have been around for a number of years, changing slightly over time. A lot of it is the regalia that you'll see. Now, understand this is regalia, not a costume, and you're going to see a lot of work put into each and every one of these pieces. But today we're going to start off with a kind of a welcoming song. Is what we would be. We call it an intertribal. And during the intertribal, we just invite all our dancers and all of our guests to come and participate. And so at this time, I'm calling all of our dancers onto the floor. Singers, if you would, intertribal. Thank you, dancers. Now, normally, whenever we are at a dance, we have protocol that we go through. And we have protocol just like you would at a ball game where you stand for the flag and you sing the national anthem, say the Pledge of Allegiance. We have that kind of protocol too among our native people. Normally we sing a flag song because whether you know it or not, the Native American people per capita have fought for this country more than any other race of people. And it was not until roughly 1945 that we were considered citizens of the United States. And so we were fighting for a country that basically did not belong to us on government paper. And so today, fighting for our country is still very important to many of our families. It is a way for us to show that our valor, our courage, as we represent our families, as we represent our tribes, and so on and so forth. And so we take pride in all of this, and so many of these songs that are normally sung, we'll miss those today because we are not at that particular setting, like our memorial song, and our memorial song is normally sung for those that have gone on. What an appropriate time, especially now when, as you look around, this thing called COVID has taken so many people at an early death. And so we remember those even in our prayers as we come and we sing these songs. It's been a long time since I've sat around this drum with my nephews and my brothers to sing these songs, and it feels good. It feels good. This is something that we've needed. And I hope that today, that as we begin to sing these songs, as this medicine begins to come forward, that you feel it too, that you begin to heal from those hurts that this world has placed upon us. In our powwow circle, you saw the different types of regalia. You saw the different types of dance styles. And today you're going to see just a few of those. At any given powwow throughout the United States, throughout North America, you could see anywhere from a number of maybe 5 different styles of women's dances, 5 different styles of men's dances. As you get down towards the southern part of the country, we kind of drop down to 4 and 4, and kind of combine some of those categories. And so today we are in what we would consider southern country. If you notice the songs that we sing, they're kind of on a lower scale on the notes there. There is a singing style called a northern style, which the notes or the voices are just a little bit higher. And so there are different styles throughout North America that we sing around this drum. What I'm going to ask is, I know that we have a few of our dancers here. I'm going to start with our ladies. And who's ready? Shorty, come on. All right, cloth and buckskin. Boss said cloth and buckskin. So these 2 styles right here, go ahead and go way up there, girls. You're trying to be shy. Now these 2 styles right here, these are considered our southern categories. The one over here, our buckskin. That style right there, as the beadwork begins to get more numerous on her cape, and the dance style gets a little bit more erratic, that style does belong to the northern plains. And so we kind of categorize that because, again, we are in the southern country. We kind of categorize that together. But here on my right, or excuse me, on my left, is our southern cloth. Now, the southern cloth is also a very elegant dance, as is the buckskin. If you will watch these ladies as they dance, they're telling stories, but as they begin to dance, notice the shawl work, notice the fringe work on the buckskin as she begins to follow the beat of the drum. It's always about the beat of the drum, the heartbeat of our nation. This is not a Chevy commercial. This is our grandpa. You see, grandpa, we give him that reverence because he takes care of us. Whenever we sit around this drum, and many times we may feel bad or we may be thinking about family that's a long ways off, we come here and we begin to pray and we begin to sing these songs. We know that they're taken care of. We know that everything's all right. And so he is given that reverence of grandpa. And so when grandpa begins to sing, watch their dance styles. Watch how they keep in time with that drum beat. Watch as they dance here today, our southern style. Thank you, ladies. I'm glad that we do have a few audience members out there because it would be so weird sitting up here singing and dancing for you guys, and when we're finished, we wouldn't know when we were finished. It's nice to be here and out and about today. And again, as I said, we're trying to get used to all the changes of everything. And many of the things that I'm doing personally are starting to be recorded. And so, and some of them are Zoom, and some of them are Google Meets and this and that. So I'm trying to get used to this new technology and how to use things, but I'm glad that we have these things available to us today. And again, I want to say welcome to each and every one out there, wherever you're at here in Pryor, Oklahoma. Welcome here to our dance troupe. Again, we brought with us just a few of our dancers, and let's dance. All right, so we're going to call nephew up here at this time. And he is our grass dancer. It's good to see him, good to see his cousin, good to see good to think about his dad, as he's been one of my brothers for many, many years. I know he's out there, and brother, I wish you well, wherever you may be. But my nephew here, he is our grass dancer. Now, I've heard many stories, and depending on where you go and what tribe you talk to as to who claims this dance and what it's used for and how it's used. But one of the simplest reasons is that these were some of the very first dancers out. That whenever they would come out onto the prairies, that they would begin to dance, and what they were doing is they were flattening out the grass to make a dance ground. If you would notice some of their movements as they begin to swing and sway, they are mimicking that grass that they're laying down. And so this is a very smooth dance. This is normally a northern style dance. And so today we call upon Kyle. Gentlemen, if you would, an appropriate song. All right, thank you, nephew. Going to come over here to our ladies, and I'm going to ask for our northern style dancers to come out. Our jingle and our fancy shawl. Now, again, depending on where you go as to who claims these dances, but the one with the beautiful shawl is our fancy shawl dancer. And one of the stories that I heard was that two ladies were competing, and one of the ladies grabbed up a shawl to try to gain an advantage, and as she began to dance, she began to twirl, and the fringes on the shawl began to dance around, and she began to mimic the movements of the butterfly. And so that dance was born. Whether that story is true or not remains to be told. But over here on my left is our jingle. And the jingle is a medicine dance coming from the Great Lakes area. And this is a very special dance, and a dance that's needed now more than ever. And it is a medicine dance. Many times these ladies are called upon in our communities to come and dance, and as they begin to dance, they begin to pray. And as they begin to pray, these jingles, these cones, they begin to sing. They keep in time with our drum. Both of these dances are also northern style dances, and the beat will be just a little bit longer. The songs or the voices be a little bit higher. And so today, I ask these ladies as they begin to dance to think about those prayers, to think about those that have gone on here today. Gentlemen, if you would. All right, thank you, dancers. Now we move over to our men's category, and our lone straight dancer, if you would come forward. Good to see my brother. It's been a while since I've seen him. Had to take a second look as he was coming down that aisle. Everybody's wearing his mask. I can't tell who they are. But our straight dancer, this is one of our southern categories, and I really enjoy this dance right here. This is one of my favorite categories to judge and to watch. This comes, again, this depending on who you ask as to who claims this dance, but the Osage people claim it the majority of the time. And it is our straight dance, and it is our gentleman's dance. all of these dancers, they're storytellers, and you have to watch their actions. You have to watch what they're doing to be able to kind of interpret their stories. And what I'm going to ask of you today, that as he dances, see if you can tell what his story is today. So, gentlemen, if you would, Southern Straight. Now, many of you may wonder that every time I call for a song for these categories, these gentlemen back here, they have the appropriate song. You see, for our categories, we have certain songs. And these songs many times are written specifically for that dance style. There are those that can be used for this or that, which are we might call common songs. But for the most part, each song has its beginning, where it's supposed to be, where it's supposed to fit in. And so you heard me mention earlier our flag song. You heard me mention our memorial song. We have veteran songs. We have prayer songs. We have songs for every occasion. And these songs are composed not just for the fun of it, but for the purpose, a good purpose, and that is to lift spirits. Today, as we call out this last category, this is our double bustle, our fancy war dancer. And again, here in Oklahoma, we will claim this dance over and over again. But there are northern tribes that claim it as well, and this dance is quite popular throughout North America. These are our workhorses. The songs can get very fast. The gentlemen themselves will show you exactly how athletic they are at times. Now, I don't expect to do that to nephew here today because it's been a long time since any of us have been in this capacity, so we don't want him to pass out on camera and leave that legacy here in Pryor, Oklahoma, but we're going to kind of see what song these gentlemen have for them. But this is our double bustle. Christian, if you'll turn around and let them look at the back. Now, if you'll notice, both of these bustles, they are individuals. They move differently. And he uses that to his advantage, that as he begins to twist and turn, that it makes him look like he's going in different directions all at the same time. Now, in our competition, it seems like flash is always best. Some of our old school are strictly eagle bustles. And so So these eagle bustles, these double bustles, are still being used today, and it still goes back to our old ways. But today, Christian is wearing his competition style, his fancy shows, and you'll see many others that are even more elaborate than what he has on, with mirrors and metallic colors and so on and so forth. But today we want to introduce you here to the fancy war dance. Gentlemen, if you would. I want to thank my dancers for being such willing participants. You know, this was scheduled for right before Thanksgiving break, and things happened, and you guys went virtual, and so I told her to let us know whenever you guys are ready, and we'll be ready, and everyone was ready, so I'm thankful for that. I want my dancers to come up to the stage right up here. And Shorty, I want you to come here and grab this mic. But my dancers, come right up here and make a line. And I want my dancers to introduce themselves. And I'm going to hand the microphone over to my niece here.
Widombete udani, ijaje witake, Nicolette Littlecook, ijaje witaka, hisara wa ubli. Hello, my name is Nicolette Littlecook. I'm Ponca Navajo, and I'm a student at Northeastern, and I dance Southern Cloth.
Hello, my name is Sarah Stroud. I am Ponca Navajo. Hello, my name is Tessa Littlecook. I'm Navajo and Ponca, and I go to Tahlequah. There you go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tiana Long. I am Navajo, Ponca, and Lakota, and I'm a senior at Northeastern State.
Hello, my name is Kyle Sine. I am from the Ho-Chunk Nation, Black River Falls, Wisconsin. I am 21, and I'm from Glenpool, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brad Dick. I'm Shawnee, Delaware Creek, and Uchee. I'm Southern straight dancer. Currently reside over in Chelsea, so not too far from here. I was glad you guys have us out. Glad you guys came and just enjoyed our show.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Rangel. I go to Northeastern State University, and thank you for watching. I'll bring it back to Chuji now.
We're gonna ask our dancers to give us one more intertribal as they exit the stage. But again, it's been a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. Let's give our dancers and singers another round of applause, would you please? Singers, if you would, intertribal. All right, thank you, singers. Thank you to our dancers. One more time, let's give our singers and dancers a round of applause. Now, Miss Dorman asked me to do my storytelling as part of this, and I'm always happy to share a story. And for those of you that may not know, back in 2019, I was inducted into the Cherokee National Treasure class of 2019 for storytelling. It's been a wonderful trip. I've been doing storytelling for some 30-odd years. Many of you that are in here, if you've gone to the surrounding schools, or even if you've been here in the prior school system, I've spoken to you at one time or another. You may not remember my name. That's okay. I just want you to remember the stories and pass those on. You see, I've been doing what I've been doing not as entertainment purposes, but because one of these days, one of you guys sitting out here might be telling these same stories to my kids or my grandkids. That's why I do what I do. I come from a small community in Delaware County called Rocky Ford. Went to school at Oaks for a number of years. Went to school everywhere. Man, I don't know if I was chasing the last of that cafeteria pizza around or what I was doing, but I went to a lot of different schools as I was growing up. But I always had fun. I always stayed with people that I knew loved me, cared for me. Stayed with aunts, uncles, stayed with kin folks. Of course, I always stayed with Mama and Daddy. That was my refuge. But no matter where I went, I always found time to learn the stories of that area. You see, even though I may live in Peggs, Oklahoma, even though I may have lived in Rocky Ford, our stories sometimes vary within that 15-mile difference. Today I want to share a story with you and ask for your forgiveness as I sit up here. Hadn't been too long ago that I was in the hospital, and I was wondering, oh my goodness, am I going to make this? I ain't never let Miss Dorman down. You see, Miss Dorman and I, we've been working together for a number of years, not only here in Pryor, but also at Salina. And it's always been a pleasure working with her students. And so I was wondering if I was going to make it. I'm thankful that this is live stream, because if you wanted to get a close-up of me, cameraman, you better done your work, because I wasn't going to get up today for no reason. I'm taking it easy, enjoying life, because again, as I said earlier, there's so much death going on around us, and for those of you that have death has touched your door, my prayers are with you. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like. Today I want to offer up maybe just a little smile to take your mind off of it for just a little while. You see, I was always taught that a smile, laughter is good medicine, good medicine. The story says that a long time ago, when this earth was new, there were only animals here. And these animals, they could walk and talk, and they spoke the Cherokee language. That is why we know these stories, is because the animals told us. They said one of these days when we learn to listen again, the animals, they will begin to tell us new stories. But until then, this was one that was told of Selagugi the turtle. In this great, big, beautiful pond, there lived 3 best friends. Now you may ask, how in the world can you have 3 best friends? I don't know how they made it work, but they made it work. There was Ajot, the fish, Walosi, the frog, and there was Selagugi, the turtle. Every day they would wake up to this big, beautiful world and thank the Creator for it as they begin to run around and play all day. Not a care in the world. And every once in a while, the frog and the fish would lose Selagugi. They would begin to look for him this way and that way, and they would soon come to his home, and there Selagugi sat on his log. And every time they saw him sitting on his log, he was always looking up into the air. Oh, Selagugi, you crazy turtle. Get down from there and let's go and play. Okay, but wait, guys, wait. Did you ever, well, say it already, say it. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to fly? Oh, they would begin to laugh. Said, oh, Selagugi, you silly turtle, you have no wings, you have no feathers. You are a turtle. You must be a turtle. Okay, I guess. And Selagugi would slide off of his log, and they would run off and they would play. One day, Selagugi was sitting on his log, and he was watching the birds fly over, and oh, how beautiful they were. And he thought to himself, oh, if only I could fly, I would fly over that mountain, and I would see if there was another pond just like this on the other side. And I would see, I bet I have relatives over there. Oh my goodness, how wonderful it would be to visit relatives I have never known. Selagugi began to think of all these wonderful things that he could do if only he could fly. And soon there came his best friends. Selagugi, you have no wings, you have no feathers. You are a turtle. Get down here and be a turtle. Selagugi would swim off, sometimes very sad. One day as Selagugi was sitting on his log, he was watching the birds fly over, and all of a sudden a flock of geese came flying by. Oh, Selagugi took in everything as he saw how majestic they were, how powerful they were with just one whip of their wings. Oh my goodness. And he thought to himself, if only they would land here, I would ask if they could teach me how to fly. And the geese turned around and they landed on his pond. Oh my goodness, Selagugi's heart began to beat, and he was so excited, he dove off into the water. He began to swim this way and that way, looking for someone to talk to. And he bumped in to a grandmother. He said, "Oh, excuse me, grandmother." He said, "But in all my excitement, I was just looking for someone to talk to." She looked down at him and said, "Oh, grandson, how can I help you today?" "Well, you see, I've had this dream for a very long time." "Oh, tell your granny a dream. Tell me this wonderful dream." Sally Googie looked at her and he said, "Granny, I want to learn how to fly." She began to laugh and she said, "Oh, Sally Googie, you have no wings, you have no feathers. You are a turtle. You must be a turtle." Those are not the words that he wanted to hear. And so off to his home he went. That night he had a wonderful dream. That dream was so real that it kept him tossing and turning. And when he got up the next morning, he dove off into the water, went searching for the chief. And on the other side of the pond, he found him. He said, "Excuse me, Chief, but I've been looking all day for you." He said, "I have a question or maybe a request. I have a dream that I need to share with you." The chief looked down at Sally Googie and said, "Oh, nephew, it is good to see you here. What is it I can help you with today?" Sally Googie said, "I want to learn how to fly." The chief, he shook his head. He said, "Sally Googie, you have no wings, you have no feathers." Sally Googie said, "Wait and listen." And so the chief bent his head down and he began to listen to what a wonderful dream that Sally Googie had. And when he stood up, he was shaking his head with a smile on his face. He said, "In the morning, Sally Googie, you be on your log and you be ready. And I will send 2 of my strongest warriors to help you fly." Sally Googie, he was going to fly. He began to race around the pond, telling everyone, "Tomorrow, tomorrow, come and see me. I am going to fly." And everyone that he told said, "Sally Googie, you silly turtle. You have no wings, you have no feathers." He says, "Wait, come and see." So the next morning early, there were many that gathered around Sally Googie's log, and there on the log was Sally Googie with a stick in his mouth. The geese began to take off, and 2 geese broke formation, came around, and they picked up each end of that stick. And they took off flying with Sally Googie in the middle. Sally Googie was flying. Oh, they began to cheer and they began to clap, said, "Oh, that silly turtle. He has no wings, he has no feathers, but Sally Googie is flying." Sally Googie was so high up in the air that he could see over the mountaintop. And sure enough, there on the other side was a big, beautiful pond just like his. And in his mind, he was thinking, "I can't wait to get there to see my other kinfolks, and oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that." And then he stopped. He said, "You know, I forgot to tell these 2 fine gentlemen, thank you." And so as Sally Googie opened his mouth to say, "Well done," he lost hold of the stick and began to tumble back to the earth. There was nothing that the geese could do but watch. Sally Googie, he watched as he turned over and over, and he knew that He was going to land in the water. But as the wind began to blow, that soon began to change. And Sally Googie landed upon the bank. They said a long time ago that Sally Googie used to have a smooth shell, that he was so proud of it that he would sit outside on his log and let the sun hit it, and it was so bright that it was almost like another sun. He was very proud of that. But when he hit the bank, it shattered into many pieces. There lay Sally Googie on the bank crying. Grandfather Wind was there in the mountains and heard all of this commotion of everyone cheering. And he came down to see what was going on, and as he came down out of the mountains, he came to the edge of the pond, and there he saw Sally Googie lying on the ground. "Grandson, why are you lying there like that?" Sally Googie began to relay the story to him, how he had tried to fly and failed. Grandfather Wind shook his head. He said, "Sally Googie, you have no wings, you have no feathers. You are a turtle, you must be a turtle. Promise me never to try that again, never to even dream of it." Sally Googie made his promise, and Grandfather Wind began to run around him. Ran around him so fast that he began to sing his medicine song, and the shell came back together, but it was never smooth again. And Sally Googie slid off into the pond and disappeared. Today, whenever you go around Hudson or up and down these waterways, look very carefully. And you're going to see on those logs the grandchildren of Sally Googie. And if you look very closely, you will notice that they're all looking up into the air. You see, they never promised Grandfather Wind that they wouldn't dream. It was only that first Sally Googie. And if you can learn to listen with your heart as well as with your ears, you can almost hear those turtles say, "Oh, if only I could fly." I tell you this story today to remind you to never stop dreaming. At least that's the story that was told to me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kingfisher. What a great opportunity for our students to get a story told to them. And also the dancers. Weren't they fantastic? Can we give him a big round of applause again? Thank you. Okay, students, if you have first lunch, it's about time for that. So make sure that we've got your attendance in here, that you highlighted your name on the check-in sheet. If you didn't, I believe that's at the back. The rest of you will just stay in here a couple more minutes, and when the bell rings, you'll go on to your 4th hour class. Those of you that have lunch, we'll go to lunch. Thank you for being such a great audience. I really appreciated your participation today. So you guys have a good and safe weekend, and that's all. Again, thank you, Mr. Kingfisher, and singers, drummers, and dancers. Yes. The fry bread, we had to reschedule that, but we will have the fry bread demonstration eventually, and we'll let you all know. I have your names, so hang in there for that. Thanks again, you guys.
Since we have to go and get our stuff from our other previous class,
Yeah.
could we go?
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and go and get your stuff. Some of you may have things in the other rooms. So, yeah, just you guys can head on out, be first in line. You were so good, you deserve a break. can I help you guys with anything, or are you pretty well got the travel figured out?